right, guys, we're back. It's Glenn, Red Dog Motorsports. We are back on this truck, which you've seen in my previous videos where we did some of the AEV stuff. And this time we're working on the rear bumper. So done a little bit of an unboxing, but got a special guest. Owner's here with me, Lawrence. So we'll get a little bit more in-depth view on his vision for this truck, what his final product is, maybe a little bit more information on what he's doing on YouTube. But for now, we've removed the rear bumper. I didn't show you any of that. It's like 4 bolts and 2 nuts, and disconnect the wiring. Pretty much real basic, but I've got the center section for the AEV system sitting over here on the workbench. I've already removed the wiring harness and everything from the stock bumper. We've got their box of small parts. There's vinyl wrap, some stickers, you know, very important. Can't add horsepower without them. We got some fill plates, bumper brackets, gotta have our plastic step fillers. There's light brackets in there. We'll get into all of that as we go forward. You got our bag of bolts, very important. Our end pieces, these are the tube sections that go on either side. We got our filler sections. These plastic pieces go in between the filler sections. And then we've got over there the big tow hooks, and then some other little parts in that little box over there. And later on, we won't get to it probably in this video, we're going to do the intake, the air intake as well. So I'm going to go through some more instructions, get the next steps laid out, and then we'll start installing. All right, we have started with the vinyl install. And this is something that comes with the AEV kit. I mentioned it before. It's in the small parts box. And this fills in, because the tubing comes up here and goes over to the bumper later on. There's a tank that fills in this section and covers up the paint color. But this area, which is normally covered by the stock bumper, is left exposed. Whatever color your truck is would show up underneath the tubing. So they give you these fill pieces. It's just vinyl and 3M. So we're going to put the bottom one on. We've got a top piece that goes on. We outlined it with some dry erase marker just so we could line it back up easily. So we're getting ready to put this on. We'll peel the backer. We'll stretch it. There's a couple of relief cuts. We'll use a heat gun to give it a little bit more conformity and get going on it. It's the same way that you do any of the clears, or if you ever end up doing any ones with the ones in between your windows, same thing. Okay, so we'll get that going. Probably won't film it because it's pretty boring. Just sit there watching 2 people or even 1 person just sit there and fiddle around with something small. All right, so I got the first side done. It is not perfect. I got a couple of little pieces here that ain't perfect, but the main part's really good. We do have a spot weld or 2 showing through and a couple of chips in the paint, but overall not horrendous. So now just wipe our mark off. I'll have to get that. Now I just got to redo this side over here, and or not redo, do it and get on that. And then while I'm working on that, Lawrence is working on the wiring harness. This is for the backup sensors, so he's got to pull them out and get them. They get moved around a little bit, so he's getting those into position. Let's see, 1 new hole here, 1 new hole there, and then the other ones go out in this area, probably right there. So he's getting all of that resituated. You do have to cut and splice into that. They supply the butt connectors and everything, but we'll get to that. It's a little bit further down the road, not a big deal. So I'm gonna finish the wrap, and then we'll jump ahead with getting the rest of the brackets and all of that stuff built up on the bumper itself and then get going. And then we'll do our interview with Lawrence and get an idea of what's going to happen to this beast of a truck that he's been building. It's the front inside one.
Front. Yes, the front inside one.
Yeah, so you can see here's the front of vehicle, which will be this way, closer to the back.
So it'll be this one.
Right.
It would not go.
And then it's going to be front of vehicle, and it's going to be this inside.
So these two right here.
All right, guys. So quick update. We're playing with plastics now. Following the instructions. We've got a lot of the wiring done. Got the adapter for the license plate light wired in. We've got a lot of the backside done here, and I just dropped a clip, so that's gone forever.
It's a short one.
That's probably because I have it in my hand. And then we'll install these, and then from there we move on to brackets, I believe, because there's not much left in the box. So that's where we're at. This is coming together. Of course, we had a couple of squirrel moments. We went and looked at how to mount the lights on the front. We got some pretty cool ones. I'll have to have Lawrence here pull them out here in a minute and show you.
I'll pick it up right here.
That's why I can't find it. Make me look at it backwards. Okay. So we do have one more wiring piece to do. That's to move the sensor over to this part. Oh, too fast, too far.
Yeah, extend the one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do those, and then yeah, we're at the point now of installing the center section. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna extend this wiring on this side for the bracket real quick. I believe that was some 20 gauge, 20 or 22?
20. 20.
Look at that, my memory was working today. So I'm gonna extend that wiring, then we're going to put you on some time lapse while we install this. Trying to get that done before his wife picks him up and takes him away. Otherwise, I'll be using the gantry, which you've all seen me use before. It's my second hand here in the shop. So let's get that done.
Went down to the river, washed my sins away. Praying, 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 praying for another day. I went down to that river, washed my sins for free. The devil's on the other bank, staring back at me. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man. Another nail in my coffin, another nail for me. I gotta look pretty when I go down. Another nail in my coffin, can't you spare one more? I gotta look pretty when I'm knocking down heaven's door. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man. light my cigarette. You ever seen a dead man talking? No, you haven't seen one yet. I'm a dead man.
All right, let's do an update. Center section is up, bolted on. I still have to connect the wiring back here. I need to disconnect it from the stock location, move it over, connect it. Not a big deal. We still aren't to the point of, whoops, sorry. Still not to the point of doing the outer sensors, but we're getting there. I do have a small problem. We're working on installing the corner brackets, these corner tubes. They go up in here, come down and around, go up, but we're hitting here on the inner fender pieces. So I need to get in here. We need to trim these up to make room so that they'll grab in there. You can kind of see them up there. So I can't hold it and film at the same time, or I'd show you. Let's see. Well, maybe let me see if we can set you down. All right, it ain't the best angle, but it's what we got. So this goes up like so, and we are hitting all of it, just all in there. So I'm gonna have to trim that up just a bit, not a lot, but we need to trim it up over here and just take off the corner, it looks like, and that'll make room for it to go up where it needs to go. So that's what I'm gonna do. See if I can drop this piece on y'all. Watch your heads, duck. There we go. All right, so let me I think we're gonna use the vibro saw and just trim that up. Should cut through it pretty easy, and then we'll be able to move on.
Was a modern day gypsy when she stumbled into town. She had some tricks up her sleeve, and she took my heart and disappeared. She went up that mountain just like I feared. Come on down from Shaker Mountain, shake for me one more time. Won't you come on down from Shaker Mountain, shake right by my side. Alright, alright. Now my daddy told me in earnest not to go up that trail. He said I should be nervous, that I might come back a different man. Not at all, not at all. Come on down from Shaker Mountain, shake for me one more time. Won't you come on down from Shaker Mountain, shake right by my side. Alright, alright. And I tried to call you in the night, just to see if my voice could reach those peaks. But all I got in reply was that cold, cold breeze and that winter freeze coming down.
All right, everybody. Boxes are pretty much empty. Bumper's on. I'll show you a little bit closer in a minute. Lawrence is working on, they call them tanks. They're really just formed boxes that go as filler pieces. And they have the ability to hold a light, which we don't have. The sensors go on the outside. They got cup holders though for your coffee cups, so that's important. And but they give it to you all formed, and then you got to cut the openings in the back. He's got the sensor. You can see the sensors fit into the outside here. Got a cup holder for the wife. Yeah, here's our opening that he had to cut in the back.
Which I'll actually have to cut this all the way to here.
Okay, so
the sensor goes all the way over to here.
So the instructions tell you just to cut out the center, but because the sensor has the connector going this way, you're gonna have to enlarge this opening. We have a couple of items like that. Kind of AEV's instructions give you one, but they're not perfect. And you just gotta understand that some of this stuff, you need to make it work. You need to understand why you can or cannot cut something. You know, when we got underneath, they didn't mention trimming some of the stuff, but we had to get in there and trim some of the plastics, as I showed you earlier. Now we've gotten everything underneath is torqued. These things are solid. You can absolutely put some weight on these. These are connected to the bumper. They're connected to the original mounts for the bumper where the hitch attaches, and then they're connected back there to the frame. So they will carry quite a bit of load.
They're on that cross beam where the cross beam in the rear frame is that they use the hanger for the spare tire. So when you look, they actually bolt right through there and that beam continues. So in essence, it makes one continuous circle.
That's correct. It makes a big box in there where the cross member's at. So we're kind of at the end of my day. I got to run and get my son from football practice. And then tomorrow, we'll finish putting the boxes on, got to put the tailgate back on, and I got to weld up the exhaust back into a configuration that is not in conflict with the tubing. So that won't take too long. And then we'll give you a quick overview of the rig and what he's got going on so far. There's been some changes made since the last time it was in the shop. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, quick update. We are moving right along. I had to re-extend some wires. This ended up needing about 15 inches rather than 9. Thought it'd be far enough with 9, but it wasn't. At any rate, you can see here's the sensor. We had to cut out this opening to fit it in there. And then you got to notch out a little bit more to get everything to fit all the way. This opening here, this is for if you want to add some little light pods for like maybe backup lights. There's a bracket that goes here. You can purchase it from AEV. I'm sure you could fab one yourself too if you wanted. We didn't get it. He said he's going to buy it a little bit later. But now I'm getting ready to bolt these up. They get 5 bolts. They get one here, there, and then 2 are over here. You can see them kind of right there around the corner. So they just sit in there. The bolts go through the back. Oops, sorry. Bolts go through the back and hold them on securely so that your cup holders are in place. You can see the sensors here. And that will about complete the rear bumper. The only other thing I need to do, we need to go underneath and weld on our tip. Before it was in conflict, it comes out right here stock, and this tube is now in conflict with it, and so now we got to move it back over here. So I cut it beyond the bend so that I can rotate it, and we'll get it to come down and back here, get it tucked up as high up there as we can. I'll show you a little bit more once we get moving, but other than that, I got to put the tailgate back on it. And really think that's it. Everything's torqued already. We got to put the license plate on it, and that'll complete that. And then we can move on with the next project, which will be the AEV snorkel. So that'll be maybe do a separate video on that. It does take a little bit to install that. We got to cut into the body and whatnot, so I don't want to make, I'm trying to keep my videos a little shorter. But let's bolt these up, and then we'll get the tailgate back on it. But for now, that'll complete it until we get to weld it. All right, so underneath the truck, getting ready to weld up. Probably burn the crap out of myself because I'm not wearing pants. But I told you before, I cut the exhaust at the bend, and what that does, it lets me rotate it to change the direction it's going. Now we got a tip going on here. I want it tucked up pretty tight. So I think that's about what we're going to be looking at right there. It's going to clear on our new tube, and it'll clear the body. Should be tucked up pretty tight from the ground to give us our maximum amount of clearance. So that should work. Probably need to give myself just a little bit of a gap so I can get good penetration. But I think that's what we're going to be looking at. Of course, I forgot my gloves, so I need to go grab my gloves, and let's get this thing welded up. I got me my welding jacket, put in my lap. Got my glove, my helmet, phone's ringing. Not getting out that now. Probably should have put a mark on this, but I didn't. We'll put a tack on it. See where we're at. There we go. Now I can double check that everything's going to fit before we weld her up. One thing I did do, so from the factory these have a an angle cut on them. I removed that angle cut because now that we've rotated it, it's going to be facing the wrong direction, and plus with the tip on it, we'll just rotate the tip and whatnot, but that should work just fine. We'll get the welds on it. I'm gonna go grab the tip and double check that I look like I'm gonna be good. Yeah, we should be able to put that in there, and probably tuck it back in a little tighter than that, but that looks like we'll have all the appropriate clearances. So, weld her up. All right guys, so I wanted to give you kind of just a good overview of the bumper so that if you go to do this yourself, because while I don't do how-to videos, I do a how did I do it video. Sometimes it's helpful just to know what the general steps were. So the main section, this center section that covers the rear of the bumper, connects in all of the same spots that your stock Ram bumper connects to. You got the 2 center bolts here, which are nuts, and then you got the 4 bolts that connect to the frame. Those are all stock style. There is no additional brackets that connect to it. So you got all the same strength, plus the upgrade of the strength from the bumper that AEV makes. And then AEV does a really cool thing with these tubes on the outside. they grab the frame with a C-section and basically a clamshell that grabs it like that and bolts it together. Super strong. On top of that, as we mentioned before, it's right where a cross member is at, so you don't have to worry about it collapsing the frame in and out. And then it's through bolted into the frame and through the tow hooks that are added to this. So again, a really strong connection here. So these will take the weight of the vehicle if you drop down off an obstacle. In the back, as far as your departure angle, you're going to hit your tow hooks and your hitch before you hit anything on the bumper. So just want to give you that overview. Their plastics are pretty good. Their steps are all really good. I'm not a fan of this plate, but it's kind of necessary since there is a location here for a rear winch to be mounted. And this covers that big hole that's there. They make all the provisions, if you have a 19 or later, all the provisions are here for the adaptive cruise control and your third camera or your trailer camera stuff that comes in some of these. Yeah. They did reduce it to one light. It's a little weak, but it's not bad. But it comes with cup holders for your coffee. So that's a plus. And another nice detail, I actually like to see details like this. This is so that you can gain access to spare tire carrier. Obviously this truck is too big to have them, but it's nice to have those little details so you don't lose functionality. And then AEV also has pod light locations here. As I mentioned before, we didn't have the brackets. Lawrence will get something later. All of your factory sensors are here. So just a really nice system.
Yeah, the sensors are so nice. The way they're cutting, you almost can't even tell they're there. They are.
Much better than the fronts.
Yeah.
The fronts, we have the wrong color
my
balances around in the little pieces, little holders. We need black and we got silver. But all right, guys. Oh, and let me show you real quick. We've got the exhaust came out really good. It's got the right angle to it, and even got some decent welding on it down there. So fully welded. All you do is you cut it behind the little bend, and then you can rotate it and re-weld it on. No need to buy a special kit or anything for the 18s. I think the 19s are a little bit different. They're a slip-on. The last piece is a slip-on, and AEV sells a rebent piece that clamps on there. So with that, we're going to close up. Like, subscribe. You can check this vehicle out on Beyond the Bend with Lawrence on his YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description for you. So catch us on the next one.